Scythes, monsters, dungeons, etc. What a perfect show to cover for Halloween! Except it's a week too late because I can't manage my schedule! Hey guys, Thomas here. So, a while back a show came out called Angels of Death. Now, while the name is bland like something you'd see on an off-brand cereal box, the first episode was pretty promising. We really don't have much representation of the horror genre in the anime world. At least, not any good representation. And there are many reasons for that. For example, who the heck would be afraid of anime characters? Seriously. Games, on the other hand, are a near perfect medium to get scared in. They let you be inside the horror. You decide if you live or die. And not only that, but the best ones in my opinion are the ones that mess with your mind and make you shit your pants preemptively. And the thing is that I got a similar feeling when I started out this show. Nobody knew what was happening. We learned with the character herself. Mysterious scribbles were everywhere. And it wasn't over the top, but it also wasn't boring. The pacing was perfect. It was even reminiscent of SCP Containment Breach or Amnesia, with the slow and eerie start and building up something actually scary and worthwhile. But boy did it manage to self in the... The whole point of a horror show or game is to, firstly, get to know the character enough to empathize with them, and then put them in a horrible situation and let the fear take over. The only release from the fear is to escape. Here, we get all three checked off. We get to know the little girl, Rachel. We empathize with her because we're in a similar position of not knowing anything. Then we're introduced to the horror in forms of monsters, so the fear sets in and we don't want her to die. And then we're provided with the thought of freedom, as in she finds a path to escape. But with the second episode, she says that she's done with life. No jokes, she just wants to. So that completely demolishes all of the points. She no longer wants to escape, so we don't have a motivation to keep on watching her, and her new goal is to die, which should be super easy in that place that she's in, because, you know, scary monsters already want to kill you. Please, don't kill me. Wait. Please do kill me. Hey. On the second floor, she faces a doctor who wants to take her eyes out, and is rescued by Isaac, our second main character, and also the monster of the first level who wanted to kill her, but now doesn't want to kill her because she's already suicidal. I guess reverse psychology is just really effective on him, but since we do need a driving force to push us through the story, he becomes one now because the other one just doesn't want to proceed with anything. And she's tasked with helping him. It even starts feeling like a comedy at points. Isaac seems nuts at first, and that can add to the scariness. But when he's maniacal all the time, he just becomes quirky. We get used to him and also kinda start sympathizing with him. And I'd even go as far as to say that he's pretty much an equal to Naruto. Always happy and cheerful in his own way, has a very sad and dramatic past, has set some really unrealistic goals for himself, stands out amongst his peers, and of course, no matter how many times you jab him or push a sword through his stomach, he'll still be able to walk it off. God damn. And if that isn't comical enough, they just keep on adding weird and frustrating moments like a giant snake in the building that's never really explained. Or how the hell does his scythe even work? He clearly said how it could break and dull before and he couldn't slice through iron bars, but now, with a solid rock wall, no problem. She made a deal with Zack that she helps him escape, and then he kills her. But nobody else can kill her in the meantime, so yeah, let's keep that tension still up. Let's make her suicidal, but not that suicidal. Now, the anime is based on a game, and that really shows. More than any other similar anime, I'd say. Not from the fact that it's like a level-based game where each level has a different boss that they have to get through to finish it, but more so on other aspects of the gaming world, like the trope of backtracking. Have you seen any anime before that had backtracking? Because who doesn't love to progress in something and then be forced to go back the same way with some minimal changes in the world? Or having to solve super basic ass puzzles, like in the prison level. They really don't translate that well to the visual medium if you're not participating in solving them yourself. Puzzle number 42 has been solved. Please proceed to the next room. You got to be After killing the third level boss, both of them advance to the next level and meet the priest, which is the trippiest part in the show, because he has the power, or the powder, to make people hallucinate. It's anybody's guess what the hell is going on right now, or what even is real or what's not. But he's not the violent type, he's more of the manipulating type. So they advance to the final level, which turns out to be Rachel's level. Because she's one of those monsters too. Turns out that she mutilated her parents' bodies and sewed them together. That was also kind of pre-shadowed in the first episode where she took a dead bird and sewed it together. Stuff like this is eerie. Something you'd want to see or expect to see in a horror show. It even brought the similar tension back that I felt in the beginning, but you know what's the kicker here? The show ends. This is it. No conclusion, no semi-conclusion, nothing. They did announce 6 or 4 new episodes on Yahoo or Amazon or something, but I don't really have any patience for that and licensing stuff, and there's just so much wrong with it. But there's also one other option, which is to play the game.
Did somebody say video games?
No.
So our friendly neighborhood emo Zach finds out that his little lolly friend Rachel is actually, surprised, messed up in the head. Long story short, she killed their parents in order to live happily ever after with them. At this point, Zach is pretty discombobulated, but it's not because she ended up being a murderer just like everyone else in the basement, no. It's because she's a liar, and Zach hates liars. But that's okay, he forgave her because the plot must go on. After that, Rachel shoots down Dr. Dickey in cold blood and they both make a run for it. Unfortunately for them, somebody pressed the self-destruct button. So now our little edgy duo has not much time to spare. So after lots of sprinting and jumping, they make it to the top-ish part of the basement, and then the freaking doctor pulls a little sneaky attack on them, shoots Rachel not once, but twice. Then he's about to shoot Zach, but then the priest comes out of nowhere and shoots the doctor like 2 or 3 times with his crossbow. Now mind you, nobody is dead right now. The priest lets Zach escape with Rachel, and just before we get to see them on the surface, the priest and the doctor have a quick little discussion. Basically, they go on about how they're done observing and their time is up. Why were they doing any of this? I don't know. Maybe the priest was observing because he was writing a book? Who knows? After that, everything just kind of implodes, crumbles, and all of our antagonists are finally dead. The scene switches over, it shows our protagonists getting surrounded by a bunch of cops. Zach gets arrested, Rachel gets put into a mental institution. Fast forward sometime later, Zach is sentenced to death, Rachel is still a mental patient. As Rachel goes inside of her bedroom for another sleepless night, conveniently Zach breaks out of prison, knows exactly where to find her, breaks through her window, just because he has a promise to keep, an oath, a declaration. Naturally, Rachel runs into his loving arms, and then they jump off the building together, the end. No exaggeration, that's exactly how it ended. Zach turned out to be a very thoughtful and caring individual. He wanted nothing but the best for his new best friend, which was murder. There's quite a few things I can nitpick about the show. For example, if everybody took their medication, none of this would have ever happened in the first place. But what really irks me is the fact that a 13-year-old girl is wearing a choker. Why is a little girl wearing a choker? That's basically like having a black belt and being a slut.
I think you're overreacting, man. But I do have some questions about the show that weren't really addressed there, and maybe were in the game. What was that building anyway?
It was never explained, but I'm sure the priest was getting major tax breaks from the government.
Why was the building made to self-destruct?
The architect thought that maybe one day it could be used as a tool to further the plot.
What was the bird doing in an underground facility, and how did it even, get there?
I don't know, but I'll tell you what, that pigeon pulled up into the wrong hood, homie.
Why is everybody kinda they don't die?
A balanced diet and daily exercise.
Okay, the show might not have been that great, and I'll let you guys know the final verdict in a bit. But now, Bottle of Yogurt, what do you think about the game? Did you like it? How'd you rate it?
Well, I never actually played the game, I just watched 5 hours of footage on YouTube. But, based on my waifu list's current top 10 most upvoted waifus, I'll give this game a Asuna Yuki. See ya.
Well, that's about it. It had a nice idea, a strong first impression, but fell apart because of literally anything that happened after the first episode. Weird character motivations, plot holes, complete tonal change, you name it. And it is aging on the border of being so bad that it's good, but it never quite really reached that status. It's a 5 out of 10. Not good, but not bad. Now, as I mentioned in a previous video, I also have a PO box where you can send all kinds of stuff. And if it's an anime or film, then I'll be sure to dedicate an entire episode on reviewing it. And more information in the description below. And don't forget to check out Bottle of Yogurt. He makes anime videos and gaming videos and unboxing videos, and he's pretty much the best anime gaming YouTuber I know at this moment. His channel and stuff also linked down below.